Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Lloydminster's heavy oil show wrapped up last week, and the city thanks everyone who participated in the biannual event. The event brought in more than 5,000 heavy oil enthusiasts, whether they were there just to take it all in or people who have been in the industry their whole lives.
I think it went, like I say, very well. A lot of compliments from people attending, the exhibitors. Certainly, we always look to the industry to attend. That's what makes the show even better, because those folks have the opportunity to connect with people that are customers or referrals and things like that.
Lloydminster is very proud of the community turnout, as well as what the show did for the city moving forward.
It's very important. This city depends on agriculture, oil and gas, retail, and other pieces to it, and oil plays a huge role, and I think it just speaks to it, and that was demonstrated by having both premiers here to address it from their respective provinces.
The next heavy oil show is set for September 2026 in Lloydminster. September is Big Brothers Big Sisters month. Stacey Comer has more on how the Lloydminster chapter is celebrating not only the month, but their 30-year anniversary in the border city.
September is Big Brothers Big Sisters month, and I'm happy to be joined today by Jacqueline Weed, who's the executive director of the local Big Brothers Big Sisters. Jacqueline, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
We have lots of exciting things that always happen with Big Brothers Big Sisters, but tomorrow there's actually two different things going on to celebrate the month and also your 30th anniversary, which is really amazing to think that you guys have been here for 30 years. That's quite a long time. So let's talk about the events happening tomorrow.
Yeah, so tomorrow from 11:30 to 1:30, we're having our big barbecue, which is sponsored by Canadian Natural Resources. People can stop in. It's by donation and just support Big Brother Big Sister month that way. They can stay, they can take it to go, whatever they like. We love seeing the faces. And for those that maybe want some more information on how they can get involved, we'll be able to, help them out while they're here for that as well.
Okay, and then in the evening, the pizza party happens.
Yeah, and then in the evening, we just wanted to do two events so you can catch the people that maybe can't come at lunch. They can come. So in the evening from 5 to 7, we're having a pizza party. Again, to recognize Big Brother Big Sister month, but also to celebrate that Big Brothers Big Sisters of Lloydminster has been providing mentoring services for 30 years in our community.
Now, a lot has changed over 30 years, Jacqueline, but one thing that stays consistent is that you usually have more kids waiting than you have people to actually help them out. So is that still the case now?
Yeah, so right now we have 31 kids on the wait list for a mentor in our various programs. That everybody is so shocked by that number. I mean, the fact that there's kids waiting is a big deal, but that number changes as we match and as new families learn of our services. So that number, there's always a waiting list. But the important part is that we're getting the mentors and providing those life-changing relationships for those kids.
For anybody who wants to be a mentor for a kid with Big Brothers Big Sisters, what's involved and how do you match the kids to know that these people are going to be the right ones for them?
Right. So we have two programs. We have the Big Brother Big Sister Couples Match program. And that's an application process. They do an application. We do some screening, some training. And through the process, we talk about the age group they want to be matched with and what some of their interests are. And so for that program, we match according to interest because it's a friendship we're trying to nourish and develop. And then they go out and do activities that interest them. So really not that difficult. You're signing up to have fun. If you can make a difference along the way, that's fantastic. Our in-school mentor program is an hour a week, and you're matched with a child at one of our partner schools. And you go in again to do things according to interest, but you have to stay on the school grounds and you don't have any contact with them outside of school. That gives people the flexibility that maybe don't have the time on evenings and weekends, but still want to do something. So if their employer will let them, or if they work from home and have some flexibility, then that program usually works well for them.
Is there a cost to become a Big Brother or Big Sister?
No, there's no cost. We provide all the forms and everything that you need for doing the screening and the training and everything like that. Once you're matched, we say that the activity should be low cost or no cost, just because we are wanting to develop that friendship.
I think that some people too might think that it's a really huge, huge commitment and you have to be doing something every day if you sign up for this, but that's not the case.
No, it's once a week. Well, once a week to 10 days. So the consistency is the important part there. So you're going out once a week or every 10 days, having contact, sometimes just checking in with them if you know they have a big event like a sports game or a test or something like that. It's so that they know they have that person there consistently to support them. Yeah, so we say once a week, every 10 days. So and the time varies depending on what you're doing. So you kind of set the schedule, you set the activities you're doing, so it's quite flexible.
Jacqueline, if anybody is looking for more information, obviously they can come out, as you said, to the two events tomorrow. But if they want to kind of check things out ahead of time or at their own pace, where can they find all the information on Big Brothers Big Sisters Lloydminster?
Yeah, they can find information on our website. They can also check out our information on our Facebook page and message us on our Facebook page, or they could call the office and anyone can fill them in on the information they would need.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Jacqueline, and good luck with the events tomorrow. And congratulations on 30 years in Lloydminster.
Thank you so much.
We've had a bit of a mixed bag of weather for the month of September so far, with a bit of rain here and there, but we've had a lot of days like today where it's been super nice.
Yeah, well, and it was suspected that there was supposed to be rain today, but then it didn't end up ever coming down. Might be coming, though, late tonight. We might be seeing a lot tomorrow. Throughout these next 3 days as well, it's just going to be, on Thursday, we're going to see it being pretty chilly and not likely going to be rain, but it's going to be seeing a lot of clouds. And then Friday, there will be some showers in the morning. So that mixed bag is, I think, actually probably the perfect way to describe it, especially with the fall weather kind of slowly approaching here as we get closer and closer to the end of September. And in October, when the real fall feeling is coming, of course, we haven't seen those leaves start to change quite yet either. Taking a look at our current almanac right now, Lloydminster Airport is sitting at a high of 22 degrees today with a low of 12. The normal is a high of 16 and usually a low of 3 degrees. And as we can see, we're getting pretty close to that average amount of precipitation that we usually get for around this time in the September. And so hopefully we'll get a little bit more to really help out those crops right now. Lloydminster Airport is sitting at 21 degrees right now and with a little bit of a wind right now, but nothing too major, and a little bit of mixed sun and cloud, but a really nice day, especially considering how much rain we were calling for. North Battleford is sitting at 22 degrees right now. They're seeing a lot of clouds though right now, and quite a bit of wind as well, but still very nice out there in Saskatchewan. And Cold Lake is sitting at 22 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud, very similar to us right now. Taking a look at the current temperatures across the region, we've got Provo sitting at 14 down south, Lloydminster as mentioned at 21 degrees, and Cold Lake up at 22. And then we've got Provost at 14 as mentioned, Wainwright is at 21 degrees, Vegreville at 22 degrees with Bonnyville, St. Paul, and Vegreville all at 23 degrees, Lac-La-Biche at 22, and Edmonton sitting at 24. On the Saskatchewan side, we've got 21 in North Battleford, 23 for Meadow Lake and Isla Cross, 25 in Green Lake today, Pearson at 24, St. Walburg at 22, Maidstone at 17, and Macklin at 20 degrees. North Battleford is now, tonight will be sitting at a low of 13 degrees. It's going to be cloudy with a couple of showers, 84% chance of that coming down there for our friends out in Saskatchewan. Cold Lake, though, is going to be nice today, but a little bit cooler at a low of 8 degrees, and it's going to become cloudy overnight. And then here in Lloydminster, a low of 11, cloudy with a couple of showers late tonight, 84% chance, so be sure to get all your stuff in before that rain comes down tonight. Taking a look at our 3-day forecast now, on Wednesday, as mentioned, 84% chance of rain, showers around and not as warm, and then on Thursday, we're going to see it get a little bit warmer and then cool off on Friday. But that will do it for our first look at the weather forecast. We will have some more news headlines coming up after the break.
The Lakeland Rustlers women's soccer team hosted their home opener at VLA Soccer Fields against the King's University Eagles. Our Thomas Wildman has more.
The Lakeland Rustlers women's soccer team were looking to continue their winning streak when they took on the TKU Eagles in their home opener. Isabel Smith would start the scoring in the 21st minute, putting the Eagles up 1-0. Shortly after, Gracie Smithson would score her 10th goal of the season to tie it up. In the 33rd minute, Paige Colgan would score for the Eagles to give them the lead, and the Eagles would hold on to that lead heading into halftime. The Eagles would continue to stave off the Rustlers in the second half and would make it 3-1 with a goal by Zoe Guerin. The Eagles would hold on to the 3-1 lead and would give the Rustlers their first loss of the season.
I thought we started really well. Obviously going 1-0 up to concede from a free kick is tough, right? Really good goal from her, but and then second half, again we started well and then just lost our legs a little bit, lost a little bit of belief once we conceded the second goal, and then once you're chasing the game at the end, it's really tough, especially when we're tired.
The Rustlers' player of the game was Sydney Bleckinger, who played an excellent two-way game as the Rustlers' central midfielder.
This is my first player of the game of the year and first player of the game on a home field, so it's pretty nice to have the fans watching and supporting.
The Rustlers are now preparing for their next two home games up against one of their top rivals in the North Division, the Keano Huskies.
I think we really need to work hard at practice this week, kind of working under the pressure of a situation like being man up again, and hopefully against Keano we can fix those problems and come back for 2 wins.
Thomas Wildman, Primetime, local news.
It is always important to spay and neuter your pets. We find out more as to why that is in this week's edition of Pet Project. Today I'm happy to be joined by Jess at Border Paws Animal Shelter for our weekly edition of Pet Project, and we're here today joined by a lot of kittens, specifically Talk though, who is on a run now, probably will come back at some point.
Hey.
Can you talk to me a little bit about Talk?
So Talk came in with a sibling back in May. They were both approximately 5 to 6 months old and pregnant, which is not safe for cats that are that young. So I'd like to take this time to reiterate how important it is to spay and neuter your pets. Fortunately, we had medical staff who were able to make sure that they gave birth safely, and Talk and her baby Croissant are doing very, very well. But being so young, it could have ended very badly for them, just because animals that young shouldn't be giving birth, right? But she was so far along that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, but they're thriving. Croissant is up for adoption as well. Talk's little baby. Talk was very timid when she came to us, very scared being so young and out in the wild, and after being moved here into the cuddle room, she has just blossomed, just absolutely thriving, loves being held now, loves the belly rubs and playing, and she's very affectionate. She's such a sweet cat, would definitely be a great addition to a home with other cats. She gets along well with the other ones very well. Hasn't been tested with dogs yet.
But who knows? Who knows? Could do well, could not.
Could.
It's up in the air there, but I know Border Paws also has a lot of events going on. Can you talk to me about some of the few that are happening?
So, coming up here, we do have an adoption event over at... What are you guys doing?
They're attacking your notebook is
Yes,
what they're doing.
they are, you guys.
They're not making it easy on you.
So on the 28th, there's an adoption event, guys. Come on. At Pet Planet, we'll be there with some fuzzy animals, and they're just really into writing, I guess, these guys. We'll be there with some buddies, and then we're also going to have another event at Pet Value on the 19th and the 20th. By the end of the month of October, we're hoping to also put on a haunted house. And right now we're relying heavily on donations of Halloween decorations and props and things. And for anybody who wants to volunteer to come out and help set it up, help run it, be dressed up as characters in the haunted house, you can email info@borderpaws.ca if you're interested in helping out. I know we would greatly appreciate it. It's a really great opportunity for the community to come out and do something fun, kind of spooky, and it also helps us to be able to fund the things we need for these guys and help us give them the proper care that they deserve, right? Because they're they're doing a lot better, a lot of these guys, than when they first came in, which is the goal. We want them to get nice, happy, healthy homes. And
No, for sure. And it's very nice to have those volunteer opportunities for the community to get involved.
Yeah.
And, you know, people love Halloween and people love pets. So it's combine those two things, and I'm sure it'll be a great event for a lot of people. And lastly, though, we say it every week, what are some of the donations that Border Paws is currently looking for?
so for the shelter here, we are currently in need of paper towels, toilet paper, Q-tips, think ear cleaning solution, because a lot of these guys come in and have like mites and things like that. So we want to get that all cleaned up. Cat and dog nail clippers. Those round cotton pads are really good too. And we're also looking for things like gauze, tweezers, wet kitten food. We have a lot of kittens in our care right now, and puppy kibble, because we do still have 4 of our puppies that are looking for fosters. We had their mom on last week, Chicoletta, and she's such a sweet girl, but her babies are also gonna need some care and attention. So if you're interested in fostering, you could also reach out on our website and come and see these guys and maybe make them a new member of your household.
Well, here's hoping that some of these little guys get their forever home, and especially Talk, who has been through so much so young. So, and but that is all the time that we have today for Pet Project. So I want to thank you again for taking the time.
Thank you.
It's time now to take a look at your adorable animals in our Pet Picks of the Day.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to have them featured on Pet of the Day.
Author Matt Hughes has released a new book as a part of the Dying Earth series. Stacey Comer has more on the new project and the origins of the original series.
I have a special guest joining me today on Primetime Local News. Author Matt Hughes is here. Matt, thank you so much for joining me.
I'm greatly pleased to be here.
Matt, I was taking a look at the body of your work, and wow, there's just so much that you have done and that you've accomplished. How long have you been writing novels?
Novels, I had my first one out in 94, so 30 years now.
All right, and as I said, you have so much that we'll talk about here and show people where they can find more information about you. But I'd like to get into what is known as the Dying Earth fantasy series, and you have a book that's coming out called Margolium that's part of this. But tell me about that series itself.
Well, I have to go back about 70 years to about 1950, and a soon-to-be famous science fiction fantasy author in the States, Jack Vance, who was unique in his ways and style, wrote a series of stories that fitted together into a novel, and the publisher took his title off it and said, "No, we're going to call it The Dying Earth," and it's about our Earth, old Earth as it is, many, 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 many eons in the future. When science has collapsed and the sun is turning red and magic has reappeared and science is not much of a competitor anymore. So it's kind of a world of wizards and walled cities. And everything has been done and redone and forgotten and reinvented and done and redone. And there is nothing new under the old sun, is what it is. And everybody's just kind of waiting for the world to end. But while they're waiting for the world to end, they're getting on with the usual thing of chiseling each other and being awful. It's a world of anti-heroes by and large. Yeah. And
you basically took that over and you're adding to the series, or how does that work?
I'm extrapolating from what Vance did. Vance was kind of a sketcher in many ways. He didn't put a whole lot of detail behind stuff. So I'm working out how magic works and how there comes to be an underworld and an overworld, a hell and a heaven kind of thing. So I've been working with it now for several years. And there must be like 8 or 9 novels and collections of stories that make novels that mostly I published them in the magazine of fantasy and science fiction. But in the past 3 years, I've just been writing novels and self-publishing them because I frankly make more money and get the money sooner that way. And I'm trying to live on this. Pensions aren't that big.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and the book in the series, the latest one, is called Margolium, and you have based that on somebody that you're very much a fan of. So tell me about
Oh, yeah.
that.
Yes. Yes, actually, it was in a previous series of stories about a kind of private detective who dabbles in magic called Cascor. At one point, he was in trouble, and I needed someone to come in and rescue him and become part of the story. And at the time, had just been watching Graham Norton's English TV show, and one of the guests that he kept having on was Miriam Margolyes, whom people who know Black Adder, that series, will remember her as the ultra conservative religious aunt who came to stay and ended up drunk on the floor. Wonderful, wonderful character actress, 80 years old now, a stubby little lesbian who's quite proud of it. She's absolutely wonderful. And so I thought, well, I'll put her in the story, and I changed the name to Margolium, and more or less had the same character, though. This wild and woolly kind of done it all, ready to do it again. She was old when I introduced her. And Margolium, because people got interested in the character and somebody asked me to write some stuff, I went back to the beginning. So I start her off as a 12-year-old girl and work her way up into young adulthood, and she finally becomes a sorceress. And quite
Super.
an interesting one, too.
Yeah, I was going to say that's very interesting. And you also have a connection to another big name that a lot of people would recognize, and that's George R.R. Martin, known for Game of Thrones and the books, and then, of course, have been turned into the series. So tell me your connection to George.
Well, it goes back again with Jack Vance about 15 years ago. He and Gardner Dozois, who was one of the great editors of science fiction in America, they decided that they would find a bunch of well-known authors and a couple like me who weren't, who were real devotees of Jack Vance, and they would have us write stories, 10,000-word novelettes, set in Jack Vance's Dying Earth setting. And the anthology was called Sons of the Dying Earth. And when they asked me if I would do one for them, I said, try and stop me, because it was wonderful. So I took one of Vance's seminal characters, gave him a fake name because he was hiding, and then ran a story in there. And George liked it so much that from then on, anything that he and Gardner were doing, just about, they would say, do you want to do a story? And in fact, I'm going to brag a little here. Gardner was the greatest editor of science fiction. He died a few years ago, quite suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things I'm particularly proud of is that when he was doing an anthology and somebody he'd invited failed to deliver, he would call on me and say, write me a story quick. And I did that twice. And both times he bought them, and they were a good success.
Well, that's just amazing, Matt. You have quite a history and quite a body of work. And before I let you go here, Matt, if people are looking to find a place where they can take a look at everything that you've done, what is the best place to do that?
Well, Wikipedia, actually, there's an extensive page on me that a fellow called George Bell has been running for years. He's a great fan of mine. And it has everything about me and about the work I've done. And that's where I would go.
All right. Well, Matt, it's been a pleasure speaking with you today. And thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure.
Coming up after the break, our Thomas Wildman will have another look at our evening weather forecast.
Well, we're welcome back, everybody, and we're going to take a quick look at the future radar here because we got a lot of fun stuff happening as time goes on here. There's a huge system coming through Saskatoon as we get into the morning there. We see that was for tomorrow morning. That will be moving up into Lloydminster. Of course, there is going to be some scattered rain there, but as we can see, as we get into Wednesday morning, a huge system is going to come across all of Saskatchewan and then eventually into Alberta here, come up to northern parts of Saskatchewan, Alberta for Lloydminster and Prince Albert. So we'll be seeing rain across the region, across Saskatchewan and Alberta for tomorrow. Taking a look at the current temperatures in Saskatchewan, Meadow Lakes at 23 degrees, as is Melfort, Prince Albert at 22, North Battleford at 20, and 21 in Saskatoon. Then on the Alberta side, Lloydminster sitting at 20 degrees, Cold Lake at 22, with Whitecourt, Edson, and Red Deer all at 21 degrees, 24 for Edmonton, 23 for Athabasca and Jasper, and then 22 for Rocky Mountain House. Looking down south, Medicine Hat sitting at 21 degrees, as well as Banff, and Coronation and Calgary at 19, with Lethbridge sitting at 17. On the Saskatchewan side, we got Kindersley sitting at 21 degrees, Yorkton and Regina at 27, Moose Jaw at 26, Estevan down by the border at 28 degrees, nice and warm down south, and 23 in Swift Current. For tomorrow's forecast here in the border city, it's going to be cloudy at 6 a.m., 11 degrees. Then at noon, we're going to be seeing showers, a high of 16 degrees. 6 p.m., there's going to be more showers, 18 degrees. And then at midnight, it'll be cloudy, back down to 13 degrees. Elsewhere, North Battleford is going to be seeing a touch of rain and breezy in the afternoon, a high of 20 degrees for them tomorrow, 80% chance of that precipitation. So they'll definitely be being hit as well. And then in Cold Lake is just going to miss it, a mild with times of clouds and sun, but no rain for them tomorrow, a high of 22, a nice day out in Cold Lake. And now taking a look at the travel forecast across the region, Meadow Lake is going to be seeing a thunderstorm tomorrow around in the morning, 18 degrees for them. Bonnyville at 23 degrees, nice and warm for them, similar to Cold Lake. 20 degrees now across with some clouds there. Then Provost and Paradise Hill are going to be seeing some rain. Bit cooler in Paradise Hill at 18 degrees, but high chances of rain, very similar to Lloydminster and North Battleford for them. Looking elsewhere, Mirnam and Pearceland are going to be nice and warm tomorrow, 22 degrees and 21 degrees for them. Unity is going to be sitting at 19 degrees with rain coming in the afternoon. Wainwright's going to see a couple of showers at a high of 21 degrees, and Calgary is going to be cloudy and windy, 20 degrees. They're just going to miss the rain down south in Alberta there. Now look at the 7-day forecast. We mentioned we're going to be seeing rain here in Lloydminster, 84% chance of that throughout the day. Friday, there's going to be some morning showers, but it will be quite a bit cooler, 60% chance of rain there. And then Thursday, it'll be similar to Wednesday, but just without the rain. And then as we get into the weekends there, Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be a little cooler on Saturday, partly sunny, 13 degrees. Sunday, a high of 18 degrees. And then as we get into next week, we're going to stay at that 18-degree mark with a mix of clouds throughout the week. But really nice outlook for next week, though. We are going to have to battle a little bit with some rain for tomorrow. And then, of course, there on Friday as well, and a little bit cooler temperatures early on in the weekend.
Yeah, no, it's nice to see the sunny weather next week. I know we have to get through some rain this week, but it'll be nice to have that very nice week next week. Indeed. And that is all the time we have today for Primetime Local News. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great night.